Hey, this is Will with the Bomberstrap, and we're going to do a review on tailgates, tailgate pads in particular. The reason why this came up is because, to be honest with you, I think we've been getting ripped off for a long time by the mountain bike industry, whether it's through overpriced e-bikes or ridiculous padding. So I want to talk about the padding that is on some of the common tailgate pads that I've seen, and then we're going to compare that to the Bomberstrap. It won't be my opinion. We're just going to screenshot, see what AI thinks about the foam that's being used on some of the ones that you pay probably a lot of money on, and then relative to the quality that the Bomberstrap produces with. So let's get into it, and let's not even do like a fancy intro. Let's just start cutting. So here we have a no-name pad. We just won't say who it is. Let's go ahead and cut into it and see what we got. Well, judging by the outer tarpaulin layer, we could see that we have, I don't even have to analyze it, Amazon packaging foam. This stuff is probably really cheap, but again, I won't be the one who says whether it's cheap or not. I'll let AI do the talking. So we have that there. Gosh, I hate breaking into a Bomberstrap, but let's do it. This is 600 to sometimes 1,000 Cordura, depending on what we use, but let's go ahead and see what kind of foam we're using. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of thick. And you can see here that the foam that we use is really aggressive. In fact, this is an EVA foam, and I don't even have to analyze it, but I will. This looks like it's almost, it's about an inch. And then in addition to that, we have an even softer neoprene backing on the inside with a nice fleece on the outside. I don't want to get into too many details about how nice this is, but let's be honest. Would you rather have Amazon foam material, I don't even know what this kind of open cell crap is, or something that I can't even tear into? Well, I can tear into that, no problem. So what's your bike doing on the tailgate bouncing around with this? Probably nothing. So, you know, it's up to you to find value, and the Bomberstrap, we bring the value. So hope you enjoyed this YouTube review. Take care. All right. So the results are in. I'm really excited about this. Here's why. Everybody likes to buy tailgate pads that look cool or they go with the brand, but are you really getting the value? That's important because your money should go a long way, especially in today's environment with, you know, being sold overpriced goods because of whatever, tariffs and whatnot. But if you really want value, you have to dig into the product to understand whether or not you're getting value. So that's why it's important. Are you getting value? You can already see the results. This is so bad. This is just after 6 days. This is 7.5 pounds. Look at the indentation. That is absolutely freaking wild, man. How much this compressed. 10 pounds of weight on a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch piece of polyethylene foam. Look how severe the indentation is. You almost have the impression of the weight, but this shouldn't pack out. And I don't know if you could see this. So bad. This is paper thin. There's no protection between your bike and the truck at this point. No value. Zero. Whatever you paid for, gone. This isn't coming back either. This, once it's packed out like this, that's what you're getting. No protection. Really, really sad state of affairs, guys. Okay, so let's look at EVA foam. This is the other option. This is 10 pounds, 0 impression, 0 indentation. The compression test, mild indentations, just enough for your finger, okay? I don't know what the rate of compression was, how quickly you would lose value. This is only 6 days. Imagine only having a product for a week and it does this to you. Would you return it? I would. There's no value in that. The Bomberstrap uses this much padding. This came from the Bomberstrap. That's insane. Like, look at all this padding you're getting. It's never going to indent your bike. It's never going to indent your tailgate. That's impossible. Look at this. Real value. So what do I have to show for this? Well, I could probably, you know, if we want to know the volume of compression, I could probably fill this up with water and we can get a volume assessment. The only thing I don't know is the rate of compression. And the only thing we don't know beyond that is will this spring back to a normal shape? So what I'll do is I'll come back, let's say in 3 days to see if this comes back. You know what I'm talking about? This. this total loss of value, this totally packed out, crappy, shitty foam. Let's see if it comes back, and then maybe I eat my words, or maybe you guys just start buying bomber straps because it's a far better product for your value. So let's evaluate. Let's come back in a couple days and see if this comes back to life. We'll leave everything where it's at. See you guys in a couple days. Peace. All right, so it's been well over a week. In fact, it's been 2 weeks since the trial of the compression test of the 10 pounds and the 7.5 pounds. So we're going to compare the results after 2 weeks of decompression of a flat 10 pound weight, and then very similar to like the down tube of a bike, only about 7.5 pounds that could potentially compress on the polyethylene foam versus the EVA. So let's get down to it and see exactly what the damage is and see how much rebound actually came back. You guys can make up your own opinion about what you see here, but I think the results speak for themselves. Let's go ahead and focus in on what's up. So as you can see, where the 7.5 pounds was sitting was right here. And basically, after a week on and now 2 weeks off, the damage is still done. So whatever happened here, what you're seeing here is permanent plastic deformation where the foam is packed out. So the structural changes are such that whatever was holding it up and whatever structural integrity it had at that microscopic level has been broken down. And you see kind of the macroscopic indentations here, which, you know, you could see that this is permanent deformation. It's not going to come back. That's after 2 weeks. Looking at the EVA foam, you can't actually tell where the 7.5 pounds was. Like maybe, you know, I'm not good at Braille, but if I had to guess, it was somewhere here. I can maybe detect subtle indentations, but again, the 10 pounds of compression on EVA doesn't reveal any indication of where it previously was. Whereas with the polyethylene foam here, you could still see the compression and flattening out of that area is still present. So you can see here fairly clearly that it's still compressed. So what happens is with this foam is that once it packs down at a certain amount of pressure or force, it's not coming back. And so here it only took 7.5 pounds. Here a 10 pound weight spread over a larger surface area had a similar impact, but not as devastating. But this is similar to the down tube of a bike, so this is probably what you're more or less going to see. So the value of buying something with an EVA insert versus the cheap packing foam is something to be said, because the amount of spring back and protection you have between your bike and the truck is minimal here. But with this EVA, even though it's a firmer foam, the elastic restitution, its ability to push back over time and not get packed out, is a better value add for the protection of your bike and your truck. Perhaps one of the less interesting reviews and longest reviews we've ever had, but the point and the purpose of where we're going with this is that we're launching a brand new bomber strap very soon. And so if you know and you're in the market for a bike pad, a single mountain bike tailgate pad, you're going to know that you're getting a lot of value with an EVA foam core versus the traditional pads that are out there. They're flooding the market to make up for margins with all that material. They're stuffing it with cheap packing foam that comes from Amazon, UPS, FedEx, wherever. As you can see, it doesn't hold much value for mountain biking, which is why if you make the investment with the bomber strap, not only is it constructed out of durable material, the foam core is what it is. It's something that is resilient, and that's something you could expect from the quality of our work. So that's why we did this review. I hope you found it helpful. I know it's kind of boring studying foams, but this was something that was long overdue, and the mountain bike industry needs to see what they're getting when it comes to different products. And so that's why we did this review. If you like this video, you want to see another review, let us know what you're interested in. We'll go ahead and pursue it and review it. Until next time, we'll see you.